Wilbon has the day off. I'm joined by our great friend, the host of the podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out, Mr. Pablo Torre. A little sparse on the cheers. And we begin today by serving out the week with Wimbledon in the top spot. The gentlemen's semifinals were played today. Top-seeded Jannik Sinner beat Novak Djokovic in straight sets as Djokovic played in apparent discomfort, likely from a fall suffered the other day against Flavio Cobolli. And second-seeded and defending champ Carlos Alcaraz lost a set, as is his fashion, but beat a game-competitive Taylor Fritz in 4 sets, winning the final set in a tiebreak. Pablo, what is your reaction to these results, and who do you like in the final?
I like Alcaraz in the final, but I want to start with that phrase, apparent discomfort, because I just can't help but think of Novak Djokovic as having the discomfort befitting someone who must feel like a parent when he's out there with these young guys. Tony, this was supposed to be the last dance, and it's not going to be, it seems. That's the reporting we're getting out of Wimbledon now. And the last time I saw you, you were talking about Djokovic then. The whole idea of him being here, him being the third leg of a tripod with 2 way younger dudes, Sinner and Alcaraz, right? It's unbelievable. And so I want to get to Alcaraz and what he does. He's so creative, so consistent, all of that. But to me, the headline is actually, Novak Djokovic is not done yet. And I think we are watching him demand us to stand up and applaud, as you did the last time that we talked.
Yeah. I mean, the big story today is Djokovic and what happened to him a couple of days ago at the tail end of the match with Cobolli. And when he had that split and he looked like he was in pain coming up out of the ground, and then he served out the match. And, there was a sense, well, he's superhuman, so he's, of course, going to be okay with this. But it was obvious he was in a certain amount of pain. He actually, in the first couple of sets, to me, looked listless here and there. He dropped the first 2 sets very tamely. And then after the second set, he had treatment from a trainer in a medical timeout on the court. And he comes back and he wins the first 3 games of the third set, including a break. And I think to myself, okay, he's good right now. And he runs out of gas. He lost 5 games in a row to a superior player. He runs out of gas and he loses a set 6-4. And I'll go back to what was said at the beginning of the tournament, where Djokovic said, this may be my last best chance to get to 25 majors. Well, now at 38, and injury prone to a degree over the last couple of years, it does not look like he's going to make it because Sinner and Alcaraz are that good. I mean, Taylor Fritz played great today. Alcaraz was better every important point. You said to yourself, I think Alcaraz is going to win this point. I mean, you watch it for yourself. He's in a position now to win Wimbledon 3 times in a row, a 3-peat. If he does that, here is who he joins, Pablo. He joins Bjorn Borg, Pete Sampras, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic. That's the elite level of tennis. That's the celebrity lounge. And we are in the process of seeing 2 guys who may be they're better than Djokovic. They may be better than everybody. They may be a great rivalry for years.
But hold on, the Alcaraz thing, right? I like to imagine that lounge you just described, because historically speaking, I don't know of a better athlete than Alcaraz when it comes to the guys in that lounge. I'm curious, does this mean that you are moving him into all-time status already? Is this comfortable for you?
If he wins 3,
this young guy.
Yes. If he wins 3 straight Wimbledons, yes, absolutely. Borg probably got it at a similar age. Yes, absolutely, if he wins 3 straight. Yeah.
All right, let's move to another young guy looking for all-time status. Cooper Flagg had a Summer League debut. I know how much you love Summer League, Tony. The top pick in the draft struggles with the floor, going 0 for 5 from 3, 5 for 21 overall. Flagg finished with 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. What he said might have been one of the worst games of his entire life. So what stood out to you about Flagg's debut there?
Okay, so let me divest myself very early on of my prejudices. Okay, I am philosophically opposed to make something out of nothing. Summer League NBA games are nothing. NFL exhibition preseason games are nothing. They're just nothing. There was nothing short of Cooper Flagg scoring 60 points that would in any way influence anything he does in his NBA career from this point. And by the way, on the court with him are mostly guys who are not going to ever play in the NBA. I think this is not a real game. This is a workout. So we're not going to take anything from it. But I did, thank you for letting me get that off my chest. I did watch 15 or 20 minutes, and two things did stand out to me. One thing was, I'm not sure Cooper Flagg handles the ball as well as he might think he handles the ball. Even guys like this are quicker and more physical on defense, and he's going to have to learn to protect the ball as he dribbles up the court. That's one thing. The second thing is how lithe, L-I-T-H-E, how lithe Cooper Flagg is. I mean, he soars up there. Like when he completely stretches out, he looks like a pterodactyl. He's going to be very hard to guard.
Well, your last comment about the, I believe, Mesozoic era brings me back to the first thing you said about yourself, which is that you don't like making something out of nothing. I pay this as a compliment. I believe you do that better than anybody in this business, and you've been doing it for your whole career. So, with that compliment being paid, making something out of nothing, I want to get to Summer League, right? Which I agree. Tony, I'm old enough to remember at this point Markelle Fultz impressing me. I'm old enough to remember Ben Simmons impressing me, right? Fellow #1 overall picks where I'm like, hey, we got something. And it turns out to be, of course, the smallest, most vanishing, literally vanishing of samples. But the thing you said about Cooper Flagg not being as good at dribbling as he thinks he is, the question to me is not, does Cooper Flagg think that? It's, does Jason Kidd know that? Jason Kidd's whole plan is, we got the future. The future looks like 7 feet tall dribbling. He wants 7-foot pistol Pete Maravich, he can get him. Cooper Flagg is going to be thrown into a situation where he'll have every opportunity. Yeah. Is that best for him? Yeah. That's fascinating to me.
No, I agree with that. But I mean, if down the road, because I think he'll adapt. I think he'll understand the defenders, and how quick they are and how strong they are. If down the road he's Kevin McHale or Tim Duncan, that'd work out pretty well, wouldn't it? Let's go to baseball. And last night's Yankees-Seattle game. The Yankees were down 5-0. They'd been no-hit through 7 innings by Brian Wu. Jazz Chisholm singled to open the 8th, and after a second hit and a sac fly, Wu came out with the score 5-1. Giancarlo Stanton then hit a pinch hit home run to make it 5-3. The Yankees tied the game at 5-5 in the 9th. They won it 6-5 in the 10th on an Aaron Judge sac fly with a very close play at the plate. Pablo, what's the word you would use to describe this win?
Love playing this game in the A block. Proustian. Tony, reminds me of my childhood. This is a throwback. I am used to the Yankees feeling both rich and blessed, lucky and good. And this season, here's a statistic, Yankees were 0-35 all year when trailing through 8 innings. Of course, 0-23 when trailing by 3 runs or more at any point in a game this season. So it has been bad, okay? This season has felt like, beginning of it was, look, postseason, let's get there. Feel confident. Now it's, everything feels like a for sale sign. I don't feel attached to anything necessarily, but this game in a microcosm of a season is like, I just need a feeling like this because it's been so brutal for the last 2 months.
I know how much you like the Yankees, and I know how old you are. I'm double your age. So my word here is Yankiness, and it's a hyphenated word. It's not